Hello everyone, welcome. Today I am back to bring you a end of the year message to tell you that there's going to be a lot of craziness going on. A lot of craziness. And you have to be prepared for it. Because if you're not prepared for it, you will be shocked, frightened, angered, intimidated. You will lose your center, and then you will become suggestible, and you will become confused also, which is the whole point of it all. So you mustn't let it happen. You mustn't let it happen for your own sake, of course, but also for the sake of your family. You have to be calm so that you can see clearly and move intuitively. Now, the craziness that's going to happen is very unfortunate, but it's not the first time. When you look around the world, even in recent history, I don't have to go down a long laundry list of places where awful and odd things have happened. And it happened in the French Revolution. It happened when the communists took over Russia. And it's happened down through history. Craziness. And there have been wars and artificial famines. And there have also been, I might mention, on a little side tangential note here, there have also been times of plague. For example, Isaac Newton did most of his work, his great work in physics, was done when there was a plague. And so he went out to the countryside. I think it was to his mom's place or his sister aunt's place. I don't know, but it was a nice little place in the country all by himself. And he was there for a couple of years, I think. And he did his great work. So stuff happens, and stuff has always been happening. But the important thing is that you be prepared for it. Now, long ago, or not even so long ago, even your grandparents' generation, for example, they were closer to the earth. And they were what's the word to say? Closer to the eternal verities. I was reading a beautiful quote this morning. I heard it on the radio, and then I looked it up. It was a quote from Thomas Carlyle. And he said, the older I get, I'm quoting him now. He said, the older I get, and I am on the brink of eternity, the more I see that what I learned in my first catechism, that what I learned in the catechism, which I learned as a child, is true, and I see it ever deeper and ever more profoundly. And that is, the very first question in the catechism was, what is the purpose of man? And the answer is to glorify God and to get to know him and enjoy him forever. Now, I didn't get every word of the quote perfect, and I didn't get the catechism quote perfect, but I got the idea. Well, he was close to those eternal truths that were a bedrock upon which to base a life. And he saw that they are true. But we are much removed from those bedrocks. And it's also by design. It's by design. God is taken out of the schools, taken out of the public place. Everywhere there's a focus on the trivial of the day, the trivial. which quarterback is making the most money, or you see what I mean? Just total useless information, but you're bombarded with it. And then the speed and the style of the media and the pundits and the news announcers and so forth, it's all by design, is such that, and the questioning when they interview someone is such that there's not enough time for thoughtful reflection. There's not enough time for a well thought out and patient answer. If a person tries to come up with one, why, they're interrupted. Constantly interrupted. So all I can say is that you have to learn how to deal. But here's the nice thing. The eternal verities are true. And to the extent that you see that they're true when you read them, when you hear them, when you see them lived, to that extent, that's good. But you have an even closer possible relationship with eternal verities. And that is the one that will save you. That's the one that will protect you. And what is it? It's your intuition. It's what you know in your heart. It's the inner light that shines on things and wordlessly says, yes, that's true. It's the inner light in which you can realize and say, oh, I get it. I see the eureka moment, the aha experience in God's inner light. Do you understand? You are close to that inner light from your Creator. It's your link to Him. It's also called conscience. When you stray from it, it's conscience. In a little analogy, in this material realm in which we live, there is a background field, a mother field, if you will, moving at tremendous velocity, much greater than the speed of light, thousands, maybe millions of times the speed of light, in all directions, like a string spinning around and around and around and forming a ball of string. It grows bigger and bigger, but it's spinning in all directions. And you can feel that. You can feel, would you like to feel this background field? It's very ethereal. It says in the Bible that which is made, that which is seen is made by that which is unseen. And so that's very true. Everything around you that you see is made by that which is unseen. Would you like to know how you can feel? Actually, literally, feel the background mother field. Yes, God the Father made a mother field, and this mother field cares for her children, which is all of creation. If you are in your car and you accelerate, if you accelerate fast, then you feel a pushback. You feel a pressure upon you. That is the mother field. It's a push. And what it is the lines of force of this mother field, they go through each other, like Einstein's phantom trains passing through each other. But when something changes by accelerating, when something attempts to accelerate, it encounters a resistance. And that's it. It's the mother field regulating her children. Nope, don't go faster than that. If you try to go faster, you can, but you will feel the pressure. And if you were to go faster and faster and faster, you feel more and more pressure, like the astronauts. And then if you were to go almost to the speed of light, close to the speed of light, you would feel a tremendous pressure. because the speed of light is the speed limit that the mother field sets for us all. God sets for us all through his mother field. That's the speed limit. And that's why time moves slower. Everything contracts. Space contracts as you get closer and closer to the speed of light. So now all you have to do is accelerate in your car and you feel it. There it is. It's called gravity equivalence. Well, it is gravity. It's the mother field pressing upon you, regulating, watching over us and making sure we don't go too fast. Oh, you can go faster, but you'll have to overcome the resistance. But at a certain point, you can't go any faster. But anyway, so now do you understand what conscience is? I'm giving you a little analogy. Conscience. When you live properly, when you don't resent people, you don't hate them, you don't judge them, when you're fair with people, when you do what you know is right on a moment-by-moment basis, you don't feel anything. You just feel everything's okay. But when you do something wrong, then you have 20/20 hindsight, don't you? That's conscience. That's it. It's God's light showing you. God's light shows you that you erred. And if you're perceptive enough, if you're close enough to that light, then even as you're about to do something wrong, you can feel that you're not supposed to do it. Well, that's God's light. At your closest link to God, you have access to that. At every moment of your life, you have access to that. Now, do you understand what walking in the light is? So you must find that light, cultivate your relationship with that light, love that light, yearn for that light. And I don't know of a better way of getting started. I've been saying lately quite often, and I'll say it again, Confucius said a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Well, that single step for you is to get to a little meditation and learn to practice it. It's so simple. All you have to do is sit still. Close your eyes. Look at the inside of your eyelids. See the little pixels of light, the little glow of light on the inside of your eyelids, and watch that light. Observe that light. See it. See the light. It's not completely dark. And then, at the same time, be aware of your hands. Maybe be aware of your right hand. Better yet, be aware of one finger. Maybe your index finger. Notice your index finger. Watch the little particles of light on the inside of your eyelids. See the little glow of light. See the little patterns of light. And at the same time, be aware of your finger. When you're aware of your finger, when you give your attention to your finger, at the same time, with your eyes closed, looking at the little particles, the little pixels of light on the inside of your eyelids, a little pattern of light. You're aware of your index finger, and your index finger answers you. Your index finger responds to your attention by tingling a little bit. And that's the exercise. You sit quietly for a few minutes watching the glow on the inside of your eyelids and being aware of your hand, maybe one finger at a time. In turn, notice each finger. Give your attention to your finger, and it will answer by tingling a little bit. That's the exercise. It recenters you, and it puts you in a state of being, a state of mind, where you have access to the inner light very directly, where you have access to the inner light. And it has an effect upon you. It already calms you. And it imparts something of itself to you. When you allow that light to touch your inner being and to extend through to your finger, to your hand, your whole body, you'll sometimes feel a little warmth, a gentle tingling warmth. but it imparts something to you. It gives you something. It gives you a gift. And then when you go out in the world, you have a little calmness, and things are a little brighter. And you move with a different energy. You move intuitively. You flow from within instead of reacting. See? Because when you react to something on the outside, which is what you mostly do now, you go out in the world and react. And do you understand with the craziness coming? With the craziness coming, if you react to it, it's going to get you totally upset and confused and everything else. So you have to flow from within. You observe what's happening. You don't react to it. That's the secret to life. Because you're walking in God's light. And He imparts something to you. And then you begin to speak intuitively instead of planning the consequences and trying to look for selfish advantage or worry about losing something. You just speak like a little kid. You just blurt it out. And yeah, sometimes everybody will go, like you did something wrong. Like a little kid, they speak the truth. And everybody acts like they did something wrong. They didn't do anything wrong, they spoke the truth. Well, that's where you have to be. Like Tom Sawyer, like Huckleberry Finn, like Alfred E. Newman. What, me worry? Speak the truth. Because then, now you're living the truth, you understand? And when you don't hate other people, when you're patient, when you don't react, when you don't resent, you're also living the truth. Because God's light has both light and love in it. Light to enlighten your mind, give you wisdom and understanding, and love. Warmth. So, may I recommend that you get a little meditation and learn to sit quietly, and then take that with you out into the world and be a shining light. Your family needs to see it. Your partner needs to see it. Your kids need to see it. They will need that. See, they're not as strong as you are. You have, if you listen to me, if you like where I'm coming from and you want to be going where I'm coming from, then you have that. And you have the meditation. They don't have that. Most people don't have anything. All they have is words and noise and confusion. So you may not be able to help them, but at least you can be a shining light, and they may see something a little different about you. But with your family, for which you do have some responsibility, you need to be that light. You need to be strong, not with anger. See, strength. There are different strengths. There's a strength in knowing what's right and standing for it. There's a strength in being patient and not becoming angry. There's a strength in conviction, a strength in courage. See, you don't need anger. You've always used anger. All it did was give you a headache, an eye ache, tummy ache. Made other people, see, then they reacted to you. You don't want other people reacting to you. Let them react to your light. Let them see something in you that's a little different. And they kind of like it. They wonder, what does that person have? They kind of would like to have that too. Well, that's good for them, you see? So I hope you enjoyed this little talk. I certainly enjoyed making it.